Hoosier hysteria indeed. This Indiana season, so incredible. 7-0 is the first time since the 1960s. Their point differential is so good. It's the third best by any Big Ten team through the first 7 games since the year 2000. And they've scored 40 or more in 6 games. That ties a program single-season record. It is an incredible and unprecedented time to be an Indiana Hoosier. So, for our big interview, we check in with Aiden Fisher, who is an Indiana Hoosier, one of the stars on the defensive side of things. Aiden, thanks so much for joining us. Let me go back a little bit. Describe to me what you remember from the first time you ever met Curt Cignetti.
That was at James Madison. Me and my mom took a visit in the summer. And you tour the campus, you go around with the position coaches, the people that recruit you initially. Then you get brought into his office. Initially going into it, it's a pretty serious setting. He'll kind of sit there, kind of set like a mood of pretty serious. Let's talk business. Let's talk football. But then he'll talk about, the development that he sees for you, the role that he sees you playing in his program. And, since then, I was committed to him basically right there on the spot. And, it's been great to see those things that he talked about happened in each step that he talked about. It's kind of come true here and continue here in Indiana.
How different is he now versus when you first met him?
He's the same guy. He stays true to a lot of his values. Even look at the practices, the way we approach games. It's the same thing. He knows what he's doing. He's real process oriented, and he kind of just stays about his business all the time.
What's your favorite story to tell about him? Whether it's during a game, at a practice, off the field?
That's definitely my freshman year. Special teams guy. We're playing App State at App State. We're down 28-3 at one point. And, most head coaches, they'll start yelling. They'll start getting into their players. You see kind of dysfunction sometimes with deficits like that. He came into the locker room, calm as can be, kind of just talked our way through it. And then, we end up coming back and winning that game. I think that kind of just speaks to his character, and the way he approaches things is he knows there's a process to everything. And even in that game, he told us there's no 25-point touchdown. We're going to have to chip away at this slowly and surely, and we did.
What were the discussions like when you decided to follow him to Indiana?
Initially entering the portal, kind of explored my options. And then, obviously came and took a visit here. And it's just my thinking was, why stop my development and growth in this system, especially with such a great head coach that I knew he was going to come here and he was going to take this program and turn it around quickly. I like to win, so why leave that?
Describe for me, you're in this great spot where you have this Big Ten city in Bloomington, winning football in a way basically nobody has seen before. What's it like being on campus these days?
It's exciting. Everybody will come up to you and give you good luck or, good game this past weekend. I just think it's a really hungry town that hasn't seen a very successful football program in a lot of years. And, now that they have that, we're selling out crowds for the first time in a while. People want to be a part of this, and I think it's just an exciting time, especially around Bloomington.
Let me talk about some of your teammates now. Curtis Rourke, I know he's injured, but I do want to talk about what you've seen from him so far this season. What has it been like in practice going up against him?
It's been incredible. He makes me better, especially just from a leadership standpoint. He's a great leader for our offense, and it kind of pushes me to be a great leader for our defense. And then the way I kind of see him approach the game, there's a lot of respect for him. And, he's been great so far. And, I'm excited to get him back here soon.
How has he pushed you to be a leader on the defense?
Just being able to see how he does it on the offense. Always uplifting guys, keeping people on task. Just the way he approaches the game with a serious tone and making sure everything's accounted for when he's going into games, that he's always prepared, really pushes me to make sure I'm doing the same.
I mentioned the unfortunate injury to his hand a moment ago, and I know you have Taven Jackson, a perfectly capable backup behind him, but did you let your coach know about your quarterbacking skills? Give him a little reminder?
For some reason, I don't think they would care as much when I was a Wildcat quarterback, but, I'm always here if they need me.
That's right. I'm available, coach. Third, fourth string, I'm here. Your high school skills translate over.
Quarterback.
We were talking earlier in our show about the reason your program has been so impressive. There have been good offenses at Indiana, but this defense is just different from anything we've seen. What do you think has been the thing the defense has done the best thus far?
I'd say the way we play together and play off of each other. Going into the spring, it was a new scheme for a lot of guys. I think that was huge to have the JMU guys come over and kind of teach this scheme and get it adapted quickly to the other guys. So being able to gel together and play so well together this quick, especially with the new scheme like I talked about, it's been huge. And then I think we're really catching our stride now. The back end's playing well, the front seven's playing well. I just think that's the biggest thing is being able to play together and continue to create this continuity with each other.
Well, you mentioned something that I just think is so interesting with this team, which is there were so many of you that came from JMU, and you had your own culture, and you came into a program of players who had their own culture at Indiana. What was it like those first few weeks or months where there was the blending of those multiple worlds?
Definitely not what I expected. Especially with a new head coach bringing his players, you kind of expect a little bit of a rift. You got to earn that respect. And we did have to earn our respect when we got here. But, I mean, the guys that were already here, it's, let's hang out. Let's go get something to eat. Let's go golf. Let's go do something together to kind of build these relationships quick. And then, even talking about it now, the guys that have been here, I think that's what's making us even more successful is the hunger that this school has and the people that have been here to win. When you get used to winning, you can get complacent. But these guys, man, this is a hungry team that just wants to keep winning. And, this feeling and taste of winning is not something they're ready to give up.
Let me give you a chance to talk about some of your teammates. Who on your team is not getting enough attention?
I wish I could name everybody on this team. I'll talk for the defense especially. Jalen Walker is having a phenomenal season. He's playing really well. You look at the front seven. I think Terry Jones and Mari Farrell are playing really well. The corners, Jameer Johnson, D'Angelo Pons, the safeties. Sanguinetti's playing really well. Sean Asbury's playing really well. I can name the whole defense right now, but I just think everybody's really catching their confidence and their stride right now. And what a better time to do it than facing this back half of the schedule.
Which of the guys are the chatterboxes on the sidelines? Who's talking the most?
I'd have to give that to myself. Once the game's going, I like to get up and, get the team going, get everybody ready to go. And then Mikhail Kamara's one that, he's a really good leader for us. He always has a D-line ready to go. James Carpenter is another one. CJ West, the D-line really takes initiative because they want to set the tone up front first, and they're very vocal and very communicative of what they do.
Before we let you go, you got the Washington Huskies coming up this weekend. What are your early thoughts on facing them?
We're facing a really good team, a really capable team that will come in here with a chip on their shoulder coming off their last game. They'll be rested up and ready to go off the bye, and we'll make sure that we're there to match that intensity and that energy.
You can see that game right here this Saturday on the Big Ten Network, noon Eastern, 11 Central Time. Aiden Fisher, congratulations on the marvelous start to the season. Thanks so much for giving us a few minutes.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you guys having me.